All right, Shalom. Before I start, going to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachachorash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa'akwath, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. Another video through the Spirit, your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. Hey, and as you've probably heard, those two events that went down, one in Virginia and one here actually in Michigan, in Detroit metro area. West Bloomfield in particular. It's a wealthier city. Edom, Ishmael, Elam, and Amalek. Right? The Amalekites here, the little hats, they have the area. There's a particular patch of Michigan they have, and that's along those lines. So we just got some clips. We're gonna get some scriptures. Hey, y'all know what time it is. They sat here and had started this conflict with Iran, and so of course now, we got people in the country attacking us. We need to lock things. You know the narrative. The CIA couldn't have written it any better. As expected in our world, more and more events is gonna go down. So whether certain parts are psyops or not, because certain people could truly get inspired, certain of them Easterners, and go and do something, and the coverage of it, the cleanup of it, the responses could be psyop, a combination of both, or just one or the other. Either way, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, I happened to grab the scripture yesterday, and lo and behold, it fits so now. But let's get some of these videos out the way, see what's going on in the world.
Two terrorist attacks were committed in Virginia and Michigan. At Old Dominion University in Virginia, a man killed one and injured two people. In Michigan, another man drove his car into a Jewish temple and was killed by security. Breaking news! Two terrorist attacks were committed in Virginia.
So, that's one. We're just gonna go down the list, y'all.
Officials say two people are hurt and a gunman is dead after shooting at Old Dominion University. Police say around 10:49 this morning, a gunman opened fire in Constant Hall on the Norfolk, Virginia campus. The injured victims have been transported to a hospital, and now multiple agencies are responding. The university has canceled all classes and operations on the main campus for the rest of the day. Our Christian Cordero is here now with the latest. Christian, what else do we know so far about how this happened?
So, Diane, obviously a fluid situation and shaping up to be quite a chaotic one as well. You saw some of that video from campus there at Old Dominion University, that's Norfolk, Southern Virginia. And it's a pretty big campus, too. But as you can see, there's lots of sirens, lots of police. We were told that Norfolk responded shortly after the shooting, Norfolk PD, I should say, which happened at 10:49 a.m., so just under 2 hours ago from now. And they've also since then been assisted by the ATF. And so we're starting to learn a little bit more about this according to the campus. So
Virginia has that shooting, right? And lo and behold, one guy, the guy on the left died. He was a professor that died. And this guy on the right is apparently the T-man. It says born in Sierra Leone, which is off the west coast of Africa. A black Muslim, if you will. That's what it looks like. It says Mohammed Baylor Jallow, a naturalized U.S. citizen, originally from Sierra Leone and convicted in 2016 for attempting to provide material support to IS. Entered in Army ROTC class and asked, "Is this an ROTC class?" And after confirmation, he shouted, "Allahu Akbar," before opening fire. So come on, y'all. Hey, it is what it is, though.
The FBI mourns the loss of life in this abhorrent tragedy and violence. I'd like to acknowledge the students who showed extreme bravery, containing the shooter and stopping further loss of life. The FBI is now the lead investigative agency investigating this as an act of terrorism. The shooter has been identified as Mohammed Baylor Jallow. In 2016, Jallow was arrested and pled guilty for attempting to provide material support to ISIL, now known as ISIS. Jallow was sentenced to prison in October of 2017 and was released from prison in 2024. Questions for me or for my partners here? Yes?
Yeah. With still little details that we know about this shooting so far, how are we able to confirm that this was an act of terrorism?
How it was an act of terrorism? I can tell you that the FBI mourns the loss, that we have confirmed reports that prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted, stated Allah Akbar, and he was formerly a subject of a FBI investigation in material supporting terrorism.
What kind of aid was he giving to ISIL 10 years ago?
He wanted to conduct a terrorist attack similar to that in Fort Hood, Texas.
Was there any mention of the...
Ain't it funny how, one ISIS, why are they every other 5 years they calling it by a different name? Well, this was actually the original. Well, this is, man, stick to a story. Stick to a story, y'all. What's going on here? What's going on here? So that's Virginia. We finna cover Michigan in a minute. We do know that Ishmael is crazy and wild. Or then also, people who follow Islam are known for doing certain of these things. We know that. We're not gonna sit there and try to argue and say that they don't. But how conveniently now, right after the events with Iran, right? So I'm gonna just go to it. Shit, ain't no shame in it, y'all. Hey, we have a leg up on the competition. We know what the dealio is because we have prophecy. These people don't. 2 Corinthians 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we understand that Esau Edom, y'all. Hey, he loves a good crisis. He loves a good event in public that he can use in manipulation of your laws, your rights, and whatnot as a so-called citizen. And what are you gonna do about it? Absolutely nothing. I had to hit you with it again. Y'all, these people, they're not even slick with it no more. At least in 2001 they kind of came out of the blue, right? But damn. All right, I want to get this in Second Esdras, the 5th chapter. And the times we're living in, y'all, these things are common. A disastrous event over here, right? A mass murdering event over there. This lets you know that we are in the end times, and it was prophesied that things would be like this. Make no mistake about it. 2 Esdras 5. Yep, we're gonna start at verse 8. It says, "There shall be a confusion also in many places." Everybody's confused and bugged out, doesn't know what's going on. It says, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Of course, focusing on the top part, fire being sent out in confusion in many places, y'all. This is the chaos is the order of the day, like they said back during the French Revolution. I forget which one of those fuckers said it at the convention, but he said, let chaos be the order of the day. And that's where Esau Edom loves to work. Like it says in matter of fact, I'll get that out of James. Give me 1 second. Yep, James 3:16. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. So this is where the spiritual demon Satan, literally, right, loves to work. And the people that he uses heavily on the earth to work in the midst of the confusion is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Obscure reports, well, he could have been this, well, he could have been that, right? It's always this, alleged that. What do we know for sure, nigga? Damn. But, if you have the truth and clarity, then Satan wouldn't be around. So we're gonna go back now. We're gonna take a look at Michigan, y'all. Hey, they had fucking, hey, if you had some business going on over there in that area, boy, you wasn't finna go nowhere. They had every fucking squad car in Metro Detroit area over there, and that also goes to show you You can't touch Amalek, y'all. Even though, you know, the world hates them, you know, they still to a degree have that protection, although the Heavenly Father's removing it. You know, especially Edom in general, but especially Amalek. You touch them, there's always consequences one way or fucking another, right? Sevenfold. That layer of protection laid on going back all the way to Cain. So let's paper trail it back, because this was the first report that came out. I remember seeing it. I forget what time of day it happened, but we had this hit. Active shooter reported at Temple of Israel in West Bloomfield. So we see this. Of course, everybody hits the comment board by looking around. And then the next one that came was this one. Then this one. And I remember, you know, when things like this happen, y'all, I like to wait a day, get all the information. So this one hits. We still don't have names yet, but literally an ocean of police, y'all. Since when have they ever reacted that heavily to anything else in the state? They didn't come that deep during the 67 riots, right? Hell, it wasn't this many police showed up when JFK got his head blew out. You got about 3 squad cars roll up and the president leaning dead with his brains in his wife's lap. But here's something go to Amalek, and nigga, every motherfuckers came out of retirement to get up there, y'all. Look at this shit, man. Man, you gotta go pick your kids up from work or whatever the fuck. And here they go all out here, splayed out. But, you know, it's necessary evil. So they're out there taking it deadly serious. Hey, once again, y'all, this is a city that has money. So, you know, this is the type of response that they can afford to have. They got, West Bloomfield is a money ass city. You know, you don't see Chargers and Challengers in West Bloomfield, buddy. Porsches, Escalades, Maybachs, Benzes, Maybach. What's that other one? Jaguars, right? Money, real money getting motherfuckers, old motherfuckers, Edomites and whatnot, and the rich heathen. So yeah, you touch Ammi, boy, you're gonna have something to answer to. So now let's go to this one.
A car came to the facility, breached the facility by driving into it, was engaged by security. We believe there is one individual deceased in the vehicle. It's been complicated because there was some fire, to say the least, with that vehicle. We believe that individual is deceased. No kids, this is the important thing, no kids or no staff was injured whatsoever. Okay? So we have no victims other than one of the lead security people was hit by the car and was taken to the hospital for treatment. That individual should be okay. So far, that's our information to this point. We have agencies from all over. Obviously, ATF is here, FBI. More than likely will be taking the lead on this based on some of the preliminary investigative information we have, but we're not going to go into that at this point. But we want to assure the community it doesn't appear to be anything active. We're still clearing the area. We're going to clear vehicles for any explosive devices, the building, etc. Unification of the families and the kids are in progress. We've accounted for everybody that we believe was in the building at the time. So we're on path to continue to maybe pivot. A car came to the facility.
So, you know, he's giving the breakdown on it, right? The breakdown. So we see all that coming out, and then the next thing that comes out, we finally get the man's identity. This guy right here, it says from Dearborn Heights, which is, you know, it's a mixed area. Jake, Edom, Ishmael, but heavily, of course, Ishmael, Elam, right? People from the east. That's one of their go-to cities. Dearborn Heights. You have West Dearborn, you have East Dearborn. You know, and you know, they got the money, they got the businesses. You know, it has a heavy Muslim influence, right? They call it, you know, little Arab land. it's the equivalent of, you know, Chinatown out of New York or out of Chicago. You know, it's their version of it here in Michigan. You know, so of course when something happens with them, you know, it'll be coming out of this city. It says, sources say the suspect, Ayman Ghazali, the driver of the truck involved in the attack at the Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, is from Dearborn Heights and had recently lost family members in an airstrike in the Middle East. So they're saying that he lost family members. So he felt like losing himself and going in there and trying to get the deed done. Didn't hit nobody. Didn't, you know, he just rammed his truck in and got blipped out. You know, went on a whole dummy mission and crashed and burned. It says the crash sparked a fire inside the building. A bomb squad responded to clear the scene. Police say no children or staff were hurt, though one security guard was injured. Right, so hey, this is the times we live in, baby, and it's only going to increase. This is going to become the norm. A combination of psyopses and actual people really being pissed about what's going on in the earth. You know, you Ishmael, they are known as the wild man, rightfully so. So it, you know, it could be a mix of both at play. But of course, Esau Edom always wants to paint everybody else as the bad guy, the T, and he's the real T. Truth be fucking told. So this is just more stuff. You know, this is from last night. You know, they went and raided his house. And the people, if anyone lived there, if they were smart, they would have been got the fuck on. As soon as they caught news about what happened, you know, you supposed to get up. Even if you didn't have no connections to what he did, he just woke up one day after eating his bowl of cereal and felt like doing that. Nigga, you already supposed to be halfway out of. You supposed to be off in Dayton, Ohio, 4 hours away by then. By the time they come knock on that fucking door, you know. So Edom, he's using his common narrative, y'all, and this is all we know. You know, he's stirring up the minds of the people, and eventually the resolution is, hey, we need to lock society down. It's unsafe. We need to conform everybody under one system. Everybody needs to use this new monetary system, which will be the mark of the beast system, to lock the world down. We see now we need security. We need to know that you're not a T. All that bullshit, y'all. All that bullshit. So, you know, just update on the news, what's going on, and give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakurash, of honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect. Akim wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.